Welcome to episode 10 of Northwynd, the Druid True First Life series. In this episode, I'm going to be doing Elite Jungle of Khyber, also known as Von 3. So, I mentioned before, I haven't been using the wolf much, but I'm definitely still using the wolf to pull strength levers and pull trap levers. I just got done doing Von 4, and when you're on the one side where you pull the lever and there's a whole bunch of spikes that come out in that little cube, I just used the wolf. That wolf died. He served his purpose better than me. So I'm going to be parking the wolf at the start here because there's also a trap lever I'm going to have the wolf pull here. And I might even have the wolf run distraction against the beholder. I do expect this to be a tough quest. But since I got the wolf out, let's talk about the wolf first. So I've got up to Cunning Wolf 4 and Wolf Instincts 4. I've got Lupine Onslaught and up to Wolf Pack Bite 3. Raging Wolf, that was there before. Wolf Pack Flanking 2 and up to Striding 3. For the gear, it's like the same as probably I showed last time, like quite a few videos ago. Nothing special. I was wearing this armor, several levels ago. I still got the Vorpal collar. I do have a nicer collar for level 12. 3d6 electrical plus 66 crit damage. So I'll put that on a 12. Oh, let's see. Crafting up to 43 just from disjuncting stuff. I'm not crafting anything, but it's worth showing you. That's where I am, as a first lifer. On the spell side, I have level 6 spells now at level 11. So picked up the King, Creeping Cold, Greater Creeping Cold. I'm not even really using this yet, but I will use it against bosses. I'll use it against the Beholder here, and I'll use it against the Marut. But short of things like that, it's not even necessary. I mean, it's so powerful at this level. I mean, regular Creeping Cold is good enough. And, it's expensive to cast the Greater Creeping Cold at this point. Maximizing power. I don't have a big spell pool. 70 spell points to max in power and to quicken it. But against bosses, it's huge. I also picked up Fire Shield. I still have my scrolls, so I'm going to be casting from that. There wasn't really anything else at level 6 that I was just crazy about that I felt like I had to have. But I definitely, that's one that, I want for the long run. I want to be able to cast it from my spellbook as opposed from scrolls. It'll last longer. I'm not sure if I mentioned this or not last video, so I'm going to say it again, or say it in case I didn't, that I did go ahead and swap out Augment Summoning. Since I'm not using the wolf anymore, I swapped that out a few levels earlier than what I say in my video, or in my build post, because I wasn't really using the wolf anymore, and that's the point of swapping it out at 14 is, that's when you can get heavy armor. That's the first point you can get heavy armor, and the wolf really isn't helpful at that point anyways, at least not helpful enough to warrant spending a feat on it. Well, I found that, by like a level 10, the wolf is just more of a liability, so I said, we'll get rid of a few levels early, no big deal. Took Shield Mastery instead, and I'll take Heavy Armor Proficiency next level. Alright, let's take a look at the gear. I mentioned I had some gear that I was going to use at this level, but it just didn't work out the way that I wanted it to, so it's largely the same. Still got the Wisdom 5 on the goggles, Con 5 on the armor, Braces of Wind, gonna upgrade this next level. I wanted to do it this level, but one of the challenges I gotta run is minimum level 12. So it'll be top priority next level. Still got this stupid ring, but like I said, spell resistance 18. That's worthwhile at level 11, so it's not the worst thing in the world. I'd like to have something better, but that's what I got. Speed 6, Feather Falling. I'll probably be wearing this, you know, through the rest of heroic levels. Still got Mulb's Fist. And I do have a Glaciation Ice Lore ring, but this has better Ice Lore on it. And like I said, to get that ring going, I would have had to move some things around, and I just didn't, you know, I didn't like the way it worked out. So I'm just keeping that for now. This got Wizardry 107, Glaciation 63 on the ring. Still got the Moderate Fortification belt. So here's the thing. At 13, I'm going to get Fire Elemental form. And I'm going to stay in Elemental form for the... I mean, that's it. Once you get... as a caster, once you get Elemental form at 13, you should stay in Elemental form 100% of the time. I'll talk more about that when we get there. But when you're in Elemental form, you get 100% bonus to Fortification. It's a racial bonus. So... you know, I haven't been able to find a fort item, and at least through heroics, I can just use the 100% from the elemental form, and that'll open up my belt slot. You know, I don't like to just have that, but for heroics, it'll be good enough. You know, from the elemental form. Cloak of Flames again. I'll upgrade this first thing next level. Still got the Dust Cart. This is really for the improved False Life. I don't really have anything to slot up in there, so. This is new, Evocation Focus 2. Actually, there was an Evocation Focus 2 necklace there before. I found this. It had Sheltering 8 on it, so it was a little bit better than what I was using before, but that's redundant with this, with the helmet, which is Sheltering 9, Resistance 3, but hopefully it'll, you know, give me, you know, if I can find a better helmet, it'll give me some options, hopefully. Some wiggle room to play with, you know, as I'm trying to move gear around in any event. This is a new shield. It's got Devotion 72. So now I have a source of positive spell power for my healing spells, which is nice. Still using the Keen Silver Vorpal Scimitar. Let's look at the quest progress. So I finished up Thrunel. Got my Mantle of World Shaper. Hell yeah. Did Last Stand. First run. Got my Twisted Talisman. Hell yeah. I mean, I need this. Okay. If you're not familiar with this item, it's bound to account. Exclusive. You can only have one in your inventory. But the Epic version, you can also have in your inventory. So you can have the Epic and the Heroic. Epic just has... it's the same thing, but 5 charges. I mean, this is 150 spell points right here. You lose 25 hit points, and you just heal yourself. You get 50 spell points, and it recharges once per rest. So you can't use all 3 charges every rest, but it's basically some emergency spell points. Very, very useful. You know, also worth mentioning that, you know, Mantle of the World Shaper, this is, to me, essential gear. I have this on every toon. 5 charges of spell absorption. I mean, you want to have a variety of spell absorption items, in my opinion, on your toons. You never know when shit's going to go wrong. You're in a market death that's going poorly. You need to throw some raise spells. Everything's on you. You can't afford to take some hits. You're in an Abbot. There's an Inferno. Nobody's throwing Ice Ball wands. This can absorb the Infernos. There are all kinds of reasons you'd want to absorb spells. It also blocks Beholder anti-magic. So, spell absorption items, really nice to have. I have several of them on every toon. Another reason why you want to get this, and you want to get that, and your Voice of the Master every life, is because you can use both of those and crunch those together to make your colorless augment your Master's Gift. You can make an augment out of the plus 5% bonus to experience. So I have a video that shows how to make the Master's Gift. You can just search my channel for it if you're not familiar with that. But every life you should run Thrunel and Delira's to get another one, even if you already have those items, because again, you can use them to make those augments. You just need those 2 items and 5 greater tokens of the 12, which you get from raids, some of the old school raid chests. So I did, like I said, I did Bond 4, and that's it. So Thrunel, Bond 4, and Last Stand. That's all I've done. So these are some that are, you know, are over my level, but they're parts of Threnal. On the enhancement side, I decided to dump the improved meta magic maximize because I really wanted to get greater heroism. I'm not casting a lot of regular spells, so I felt like I could afford to be without that now, especially now that I have a little bit higher spell point pool than before. I am going to make it a priority to pick this up again, but greater heroism, huge. Immune to fear, +4 morale bonus to attacks, saves, and skill checks. So save bonus is huge there. Love it. An additional 20 heal amp. And this is basically like it was before. Oh, I got a point of wisdom here. Got both the points of wisdom here. I believe that puts me at an even number. Yeah. So like I could have gotten rid of these wisdom here and spent points here, but I wanted the wisdom. Higher saves, more spell points. All right, time to do the quest. Parking the wolf. I've parked the wolf here before, and I feel like there are scorpions that spawn here that mess him up. I have to keep an eye on his health. So this is gonna be a tough one. I don't expect this to be easy. Yeah, I was able to do it on the beginner's guide, but when I did the True First Life, you know, when I was doing the 3 mini bosses, the Beholder and the Paragon, Luridae, and they were smoking me. I remember I did a video on how to pull the bosses, and I died a bunch of times in that video. So Von 4 went alright though. You know, I had to take it at a modest pace. You know, it wasn't slow. You know, it was a modest pace. But yeah, I did alright. Pretty cool. So these hunter guys, you know, they're gonna save against the Call Lightning, so you want to use your spells that have no save. So your Creeping Cold and your Produce Flame, no save. Suppose to Call Lightning, so he saves against it. So you throw your Creeping Cold, no save. So this brings me to an important point here. Okay? Now I've said 6 ways to Sunday in my build post, and when talking about druids, other people, and people are, you know, and this speaks to a bigger issue of you know, people just not adapting to druid well. Druids are not traditional casters, so a lot of times people are screaming about DCs on a druid. You know, DCs aren't as big of a deal as they would be on like a, you know, like a wizard, for example. You know, or some kind of a caster that has like, you know, like a insta-death, like where like if they fail it, then you get nothing. You know what I'm saying? You just get the middle finger at you. Like, you gotta hit, you gotta make those, you know. But the druid, you don't really have like make or break spells, okay? And something like Call Lightning, for example, which is a damaging spell. Well, my perspective is, if you're going against mobs that are saving against your spells, well then use your arsenal of spells that you have that have no save. You have so many spells that have no save. Why try to force a certain spell on a mob, you know, that can save it? Just switch to different spells. There's so many of them. And now, this is another important point though. That doesn't mean you should throw your DCs out the window. It doesn't mean they're not important. I'm just saying they're not as important as a traditional caster. So, you know, wizard might have a, you know, finger death DC up in the 90s. You know, you don't need DCs in the 90s on a druid. Just doesn't to me, it's just a waste of resources. But, you know, if you want to do like balls out pure caster, you know, you could do that if you really wanted to. But I'm a big fan of spending those resources where I feel like they'll be more useful. Ooh, damn, that trap's hit me way over here. I'm going to use this wand, and I'm using a wand to save mana. It's just energy. I need that loot. Damn. The Springs Resurgent. Kick it in there. Even Earthquake, like, you don't need, that's a reflex save. You don't need a giant Earthquake save to be effective, even in Legendary Elites. I mean, and Earthquake's not a, you know, save or no save kind of thing. Like, it ticks every few seconds, they make another save. I need to get the hell out of here. Tearing me up. Get away from those archers and stuff. And you can stack multiple earthquakes. Again, I'm not saying you need to throw. You should throw your DCs out the window. I'm just saying don't need to be as high as a traditional caster to be effective. You know what? I'm gonna bring out my own Earth Elemental. Maybe you can run a little distraction, because this part could be scary. Make sure fresh brings resurgence. To throw in the Sleet Storm and the Ice Storm there. And I turn Maximize and Empower on for it. I don't need these guys earth grabbing me. One shot the caster. Creeping Cold the Ruffian. Produce Flame the other Ruffian. And finish up the other guy with another Call Lightning, because the SLA just came off cooldown. Okay, scary trapdoor. I'm gonna use the wolf. I don't trust myself to be able to survive that with my meager hit points. Last video I compared what Ginger's hit points were at level 10 versus what I had at level 10, and I said that Ginger's hit points and spell points would jump up because of green steel. So I looked at those numbers from a level 11 video from Ginger Spice, and she had, so I have 214 hit points. Ginger had 391, like 180 more, almost double. Spell points 1275 compared to my 772, so like 500 more. You know, giant difference. Giant difference. Okay, let's go ahead and throw the Springs Resurgence. Maybe he'll survive. I don't know. I'm getting way the hell back here and telling him to pull the lever. You served your purpose, Mirage. Thank you very much. Now I'm gonna go to Druid Hell for that. So I just got to over 1,000 mysterious remnants. Chucked them in the bank because, you know, after 1,000 my bag overflows. And time to go back and try. Do we pull out the dog? Yes, let's do that. Room on passive and park 'em. One of the really cool things about Spring's Resurgence is, I mean, the emergency heal alone is just giant. But it can actually prevent you from dying. Like, if you were to take enough damage to actually put you into, you know, well into negative territory where you would straight up die, the Spring's Resurgence kicks in before sort of that negative hit points calculates or whatever. Anyways, it saves you from death, even if you would have otherwise gone down to below negative 10, for example. Totally awesome. And like at this level, like it's fully healing me. Gonna have to take these slow. That's okay. I'm gonna shield block. Shield blocking makes a huge difference. Only taking 1 damage. So look at this. Shield blocking DR, 14. If I don't shield block, taking some damage. Not 14 because I PR. One-shotted him with the produce flame. the leaves are the visual that tells you, you see those leaves, you got to get used to, like, that means recast it right away as soon as you see those leaves, as soon as possible. Oh yeah, we're doing this. Why? Not because I wanted to die by a champion seer, but because I want that collectible. And I also want maximum kill bonus. Conquest. What's going on, guys? Let's do Sleet Storm and Ice Storm. Get rid of that champion. Champions are scary. Oh, I've got a half a rank off of just the optionals already. That's badass. Mana's so tight. I think I'm gonna try to kill a few beholders first. And we're gonna use the wolf to run distraction. Put on these bracers I got that have death block on them. I don't need to get insta-killed by these beholders. Send in the hounds. Creeping cold, I mean greater creeping cold. I have no way to remove negative levels for me right now, so another reason beholders are really scary to me. Oh shit. When I get regeneration, that will remove negative levels. And I got the red name. Do I have enough mana? I'm about to. With my baller archivist necklace. And my Baller Twisted Talisman. So I do have, I do have the spell absorption with the mantle, but I really want to save that for the boss beholder. He's gonna be really scary. Yeah, I got the Greater Creeping Cold off. He killed Snarl, but Snarl served his purpose. I'm out of mana. Let's go use that shrine. It was the second part of the last chain of Threnel. So second part of Southern. Mana was really tight in there. I mean, really tight at the end. In fact, I was going up against the Beholder and I had nothing left, and I really considered just recalling out, getting mana, and taking the penalty, but I was like, you know what? I'm feeling lazy. And I didn't want to do all that running. So I said, screw it. I'm going to go in there with just enough to throw my SLAs at him. And it was just like the closest call I've had yet. Because... So... Got the Beholder down to like 25. And then like he stoned me. He had me down to 5 hit points. And Mirage was beating on him. And Mirage got him down, killed him. And I had this like army of fucking oozes attacking me while I'm stoned and have 5 hit points. And Mirage is like chewing that up. I mean, it was legendary. I wish I had captured that on video. I mean, it was just ridiculous. I'm standing there stoned, unable to do anything. Mirage saved my ass. Don't forget the buff. You know what? These Beholders are going to debuff me anyways. Keeping the death block on for now. Like I said, I can't afford to get insta-killed by these Beholders. I'm gonna pull out Summon 2. Anybody home? Nope. Alright, what are we doing here? Damn it. I was hoping to one-shot him, but you know what? This death block braces on. I don't have my lightning bracers on. Braces of wind. Beholders. Don't usually do this on heroic. I usually just skip it and do it in epics. So I'm used to the Beholders that are in epics, which clearly is a lot more. Okay, back with the Braces of Wind. So I'm using backspace. There's 2 runes up top, and I can see the other rune up there. Never lost my buffs. So whatever you use to target non-combat targetables, you can just look around and keep hitting that button. And you should see the word rune light up. Look, I'm looking this way, you can see the word rune over there. Makes it pop out. So if that's Q for you, backspace, whatever you have it set as. If you don't have it set, go into your key mapping, and for select non-combat targets or something like that. Let's see. Select. Where are you? Select next interactable. Okay, so here, the noob mistake is to jump, but then you bounce off the ceiling and then you miss your ledge. What you want to do is just feather fall down to the left. Boom. Hell yeah. Earth grab him. We're almost there. So close, yet so far. Got a lot of fighting between here and there. A lot of scary fighting. Got 5 charges on the mantle. So you see the wolf is being helpful, like even on this first life, like, but you know, it's just such a big penalty when he dies that that's why I'm not really keen on having him around anymore. Springs Resurgence saved the wolf. Okay. The good news is there's a shrine there for when this beholder smokes me. Okay, so how do we pull the bosses? Well, what do I want to do here? I'm going to park him. So just step over here. You don't want to throw anything at him, you're going to aggro them all. Just keep stepping out. See, I aggroed one and didn't come right back. You don't want to throw anything, just keep like inching out there until you get one. He's going to come out. Caster's a little slow. It's okay, we hit him with the 3 SLAs, you don't have a chance. There's no chance. Now we're going to come out here. I'm going to stick the mantle on. Just in case it's the beholder. Inching out. You know what? Screw it. Death block on. And we're going to have the wolf go in. Spell power boost. Send in the hounds. Got a creeping cold on him. Is it going to be enough? Woot. I can put my normal items on. Don't need death block anymore. Hit him with a greater creeping cold. because I can mana dump now. We're almost there. Let's just dismiss the wolf. I'm going to use up the last charge of that wand of Cat's Grace that I found so long ago. Alrighty. Do I need electrical resistance in here? Can't remember. They did away with the electrical explosions, but I remember if the Marut does electrical. Spell power boost. Hitting with both Creeping Cold and Greater Creeping Cold. Got a Vigor going on myself. I'm going to put Examine on so I can see when the Creeping Cold and Greater Creeping Cold come off timer, because I don't want to overwrite my own dots. They're backloaded. The biggest damage is at the end, so you don't want to overwrite them before they're complete. And boom, level 12. Hell yeah! Well, thanks for watching. That was exciting. This is kind of a scary quest for a true first lifer. If you have any questions about my videos, you can respond on YouTube. And you know, I've got 2 episodes up right now, and I want to say it's been really cool. Like, there have been so many great comments already. I am really shocked at how many views they've gotten, like, right away. There was a lot of people, I guess, like, looking forward to a new series from me. I really appreciate the kind words. It's so cool that you guys were really looking forward to my new series. So I hope you're enjoying it. So if you have any questions about my build, you can respond in my build post in the Druid forums. And if you're on Sarlona, and at this point, somebody already found me. I am on Caneth, but you know, by the time this hits, I'm not going to be around on Caneth too much longer. So don't try to find me there. But if you are on Sarlona, you're welcome to send me a tell.